Oh, there's a camera. Yes, there we go.
So Katherine, national champ, tell me about that, huh?
Yeah, it feels great. You know,
I mean, you've been in a lot of nationals, you've been in finals, and you wrestled great today. Talk about the finals match and what was working well, and how you feel now that you got through the tough time today.
Today was, you know, mental balances of coming back in the first competition back. But I have done a lot of mental prep before this to be ready for situations like that. And the game plan was get out of the tie-up and get down to my shots. And that really showed up. I was really able to attack the head well. I was able to get out of the tie-up, the cling, and get into my attacks. And just kept the pressure on. And I think that proved, I think it really shows the big jump that I've made from December. When was the last time I competed, you know, in the US Open, competed against a lot of these women. I think it shows a big jump to go from having some tough matches, having some too much upper body battle with everyone, to now coming in and handling it and just teching and pinning throughout. So
yeah, no, I mean, I know you take pride when your offense is working well. I mean, what do you think is part of the factor for that? You pretty much were dominating from the feet.
You know, I have to give my husband a lot of credit. We've just been working so hard at figuring out what is right for Katherine. What does Katherine need to look like on the mat? What's working for Katherine? What kind of positions do we need to put me in so that I'm ready to attack and I can be really offensive? I've always been, I think everyone knows I'm a very good counter-offensive wrestler, and my defense is really hard to break through. So the biggest gap that needed to be built there was creating that offense and getting that offense going, so that my opponents have no opportunity to even score or even take advantage of anything. So we've just been getting creative, getting really creative in order to make that a reality. And I'm excited because this is just, you know, first tournament back. So.
Okay, so we're going to open it up for some questions and see what some of the other journalists would like to talk about.
Hello, Katherine. I hope you can hear me.
I can, Mike.
Okay. You had mentioned your relationship with your husband and your game plan. Was there ever a talk about the two of you saying, is it worth it considering this pandemic and such?
Yeah, absolutely. We had a talk. It ended up being a discussion that we had the night before Olympics. It ended up being postponed. We were prepping for that. It was definitely nerve-wracking. But yeah, we had to sit down and make a pros and cons list. Like, is this right for our family? Is this right for us and our son, and, you know, the future for us? And the pros heavily outweigh the cons. So we said, okay, we're doing another year, and that gave us the opportunity to not even look back. So that's why these last 6 months have been so progressive and so very worth it for us.
Why were the pros more than the cons?
You know, Olympic goal in the mind, that's a big pro. And there were so many things that we were building with my wrestling that we're just scraping the surface, and that was exciting for us. So we, you know, daily we have an awesome back and forth dialogue. My husband's throwing me, you know, technique videos at me. What do you think about this? You know, how do we problem solve this? Because that's wrestling. You know, we get really obsessed with like the need to go in the room and just like grind, but there's so much problem solving that you can do without having to be on the mat. And that's what we've taken on.
Mark Bader, you're good to go.
All right. Hey, Katherine, kind of echo what we talked about after the semi, and you're bringing it up here again. It's like this mentality and this mindset, as much, if not more than maybe being on the mat, you know, and getting into the gym. When did you realize that, and does it become more important in the latter part of your career?
It's always been, you know, a part of it, but I think I didn't dive into it as much. I think there were things that I avoided because it's uncomfortable, and it became really apparent when all of a sudden wrestling was kind of out of the picture. You know, I was doing the best I could with wrestling, but it became an opportunity in a moment the last 6 months to be like, let's really dive in. And I just like went full into like, what is it? Just diving into mindset and mentality and consciousness and all these different, you know, sides of spirituality that really have helped me put things together and helped me develop my perspective on wrestling. And it's just kind of ever evolving now. So I'm taking the idea, instead of just like, it's all about hard work and physical work, to, you know, what kind of mindset can I go in each time I'm in a session? So just really diving into those areas have been fun.
Awesome. And do you have a competition schedule planned loosely, or is it tough to say at this point?
It's tough to say.
Yeah.
I'm ready for anything that is thrown at us. I think there's been a lot of discussion about, you know, is it good or okay? Should we wrestle the world? All these different factors coming up. But if we're having this competition and it's successful, in my opinion, so let's move forward and have the next competition. So I'm hoping, you know, the next thing would be ideally Worlds in UWW, and however we handle that in US.
Sure. Well, congratulations. You look great.
Thank you.
Well, hey, congratulations, national champion. It's great to be able to spend some time with you. What are you going to do to celebrate tonight? Go home?
No, it's this is Parents Weekend away. So my husband and I, we have a weekend now, and we're going to enjoy it. And we have tomorrow, we get to watch some more wrestling. And I think I'm thinking I'm getting a burger tonight. That's the plan.
Hey, so we've got a text chat question.
Perfect. Okay.
So how do you think you stack up against the others at 83, especially Jakar Winchester? And anything specific you'll do to prepare for them?
This, you know, everything that I'm doing every day is preparing for those opponents and preparing for my opponents for the Olympics. And, you know, Jakar and I had a good match back in February, but that was back in February, you know, a long time ago. So there's been so many adjustments being made. And, you know, especially with talking about this mindset, you know, the plan is not to have a perfect recipe. You know, it's a perfect recipe for Katherine, but it doesn't mean I have to have a perfect exact thing that shows up when I wrestle that opponent. The more I can get into a zone of preparing myself and being open to whatever shows up, whatever my opponent gives me, the better I'm going to be on the mat. So the plan anticipation is moving forward and winning competitions. So.
Katherine, we're going to let you go on. We're going to have another champion coming in. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great day.
Thank you, Gary.
You know, we'll see you soon. Hopefully we get
Absolutely.
another good tournament coming up.
Yeah, we will. Thank you.